70s chick here with you again, once again. This time it's for an artist review, not really necessarily an album review, even though I have the entire album downloaded onto CD. And I've done a show on this artist last week as a video, but I wasn't pleased with the way it came out and with the way I looked and my appearance. So I took it down and I figured I'd redo it. So anyway, welcome again to my half-hour artist review. And today I'm going to be speaking about an artist named Brian Auger, who is an English jazz, rock, and rock music keyboardist who specialized in the Hammond organ, or specializes, I should say. He's still alive. And his style was acid jazz, and I have no idea why I've never looked into this man's music, but I am really glad I did, as I'm a hobby of digging for obscure music or not too much mainstream, although I have covered a lot of mainstream artists, but usually just their albums. Hence the term, my half-hour album review. So anyway, moving along, he incorporated jazz, early British pop, R&B, and soul music and rock into his sound. And he's also been nominated for a Grammy Award in 2001 for Best Contemporary Jazz Album, which was called Cab 2. And it featured other jazz artists, and it's mainly fusion styled, and I'm not really too big on fusion. It's just not my thing. To me, it sounds like watered down jazz, like too commercial sounding. But one of my favorite fusion type albums is from Jeff Beck, his album Wired, which came out in 1976. It's a really awesome album, and I listened to it a lot when I first the father of my daughter's dad, he used to be in a band, and back in the 80s in Connecticut. And I sang in a band that we formed. And of course, we didn't really gain too big of a following, but we did play a lot of parties and some bars, and people loved us. They were really surprised at the prospect of a woman singing Black Sabbath tunes, which I didn't. Our bass player, I have to say, I'm definitely a novice, but to be honest with you, I played the bass better than he did. I mean, he was really bad. So, and that's the only songs he could do bass to. So, of course, it's like we were a Sabbath cover band, and I wanted to do more songs that he couldn't perform. So I literally, my say just went, over his head. But anyway, getting back to the subject, he had that on cassette, and I took it, I gave it a listen to, and I was really pleased. So anyway, Brian Auger in 1970, he formed the jazz fusion ensemble, Brian Auger's Oblivion Express. And here I'm going to play his debut album called Brian Auger's Oblivion Express. Well, actually, it's the band's debut album. He's done albums before, prior to this, but it wasn't so much jazz fusion as this. So anyway, the first song is called The Dragon Song. So I love jazz rock. This is like psychedelic jazz, like jazz fusion or psychedelic jazz. I'm sorry. It's slightly fusion in sound, but not that bad. It's not very watered down. And I love the bass line, the beginning bass line there. And he specializes, of course, in the Hammond organ, which is one of my favorite instruments. And I've mentioned before that I love bands that incorporate this sound lately. Like there's some British bands that have like British, like kind of jazz. The British funk, like British R&B. I mentioned them before, Big Boss Man and Monophonics, and I'm going to give their albums a listen to today because I haven't listened to them in quite a while. And they're really, really great bands, and in recent years they've made CDs, and their music is just awesome. I just enjoy listening to it. A lot of bands I've heard, a lot of rock bands too that I'm finding on YouTube that sound just like 70s type rock, like 70s heavy rock. And I know I have my head in the sand as far as this goes, but today's music and the production values it's not music lately. It's just rehashed, commercial, corporate, just corporate, what's it called? It's like being spoon-fed. I don't know what the term is, but anyway. Anyway, this is the first song of the album called Dragon Song. As you can see, it's more of like a jazz rock fusion. The next song is called Total Eclipse, and this is one of my favorites. It's another ethereal song. It's about, I think, like 9 or 10 minutes long. We'll give that a spin. Nice beginning, love it. Everything, that bass. As a matter of fact, today when I practice my bass, I'm going to practice that riff. I'm trying to get in the simpler riffs and just playing around to get dexterity, because there's a lot of bass lines I want to learn. Preferably, there's one song I was listening to today by the group, disco funk group back in the late 70s and early 80s called A Taste of Honey. There was a bass line on one of their songs called Do It Good that didn't really get the following at all that Boogie Oogie Oogie did. And of course they won the Best New Artist Grammy Award back in 1979. And boy, imagine our surprise when we watched those Grammys and we had no idea the girls played instruments. And when they came out and they were playing their bass, their jazz bass and their guitar, my mouth dropped. Because that was very unheard of back then. It was all male dominated, and I'm not a feminist by any means at all. But I mean, that's a good thing that women are expanding and they got into the workplace and they're allowed to vote. But I'm not a feminist by any means. I mean, feminism and liberalism, I think a lot of people they don't know how to be liberal or feminist lately. They take it to the extreme left. And don't get me wrong, I don't like the extreme right either. I'm not really going to discuss my politics because it's a very sensitive subject like religion. So anyway, I'm in the middle, and I just believe the working class gets screwed royally. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. That is Total Eclipse. I'm sorry, my back is weak. It's this couch. And I've been feeling a little weak today, and it's because I didn't get my iced tea in the middle of the day now. Now I made myself addicted, become addicted to it now. Anyway, let's go to the next song called Light, and this is with vocals. I really like the vocals. A lot of times when I listen to jazz, like the jazz on the radio, the public radio station I listen to, a lot of times I don't like vocals. It depends. Like maybe, of course, if it's Louis Armstrong, if it's Billie Holiday, if it's Ella. Some vocals, like an album I have from an artist called Adrienne Fenimore that I've mentioned. She's a jazz organist, and she sings some of them. She's got this really nice, kind of velvety, kind of buttery voice. It's really It's really nice. She plays very good at the. She's a very good jazz keyboardist, as is Brian Auger. He's still, like I said, he's still alive and kicking. I think he's in his 80s. He's like early 80s, I think. And speaking of somebody in the early 80s, Grace Slick is still alive. She outlived, I think, all of the Jefferson Airplane / Starship. Well, yeah, Jefferson Airplane more. And I think Jorma is still alive. Jorma Kaukonen. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but yeah, she's 80. She's 81. She just turned 81 October 30th. So yes, that's quite a shock. Wow. But anyway, you can enjoy this. I'm definitely going to listen to this album on the way down to Key West, which I hope after the presidential election. Not sure who's going to win, but I don't know. I mean, everybody should be taking this virus seriously. But of course, we're set to go. And as what's happened for like the last 2 years, they've been trying to go there. And either something's come up or we didn't have the money. and now this, and I keep saying, well, God, I don't know what your plan is, but I don't like it, but I don't know, wherever you want me to be. So, and the next song is called On the Road and has this kind of chugging along style. It reminds me so much of the Grateful Dead, like in the vocals and the whole background, the whole atmosphere. Okay, let's go to On the Road. This is a really groovy song. I say groovy because it really is fitting for this song. I'm on the road again. I gotta move it along. Definitely Grateful Dead-like. I love this. I gotta leave this town. No sense in wasting my time. It's just, there's a song called On the Road Again by Canned Heat, which is one of my favorite bands too. And that is one of my favorite songs as well. That one and the same vein, Going Up the Country. On the Road Again and Going Up the Country are kind of like the same, of course, the same narrative, which makes it interesting too. And if the path is true, it's gonna take me straight. This album was released in 1971. In that time period when psychedelia was still making a presence, kind of ended around 1970, but still coming into 1971 a bit. And then after that, psychedelia, waned, and there began more, the 70s had more categories: jazz rock, pop rock, punk rock, heavy rock, all kinds of genre. I mean, the same genre, but different sections, different groups, different types of rock. So, yeah, I was listening to this last week or the week before, and I'm laying on my couch here. And this song I think I recorded first on another CD, but I incorporated some songs on this one that came from other albums. So I redo it, I revise. So this is the revised version. And the next song is called The Sword. And the last one on the album is the title track, Oblivion Express. Okay, here's The Sword. Yeah, truly a good band. Very well. And like I said, the album that came out that he was nominated a Grammy for was called Cab 2. And I listened to some of it, and it's not a bad album. It's just not my thing. Fusion just doesn't really grab me. I just think it's not a bad sound. I just think it sounds watered down. Way too commercial sounding. Yeah, this is good. All this is good driving music, which is definitely what I'm going to play in my car. My hubby will like this too, I'm sure. There's some bands and some music that he listens to that I actually like. He's turned me on to quite a bit, like jazz. He's turned me on to jazz. But there's some bands that he listens to that I'm just thinking of whoa. Like there was one band called Sleep Chamber. Oh, let me turn this up. Let me go back to On the Road again because I didn't have it up loud enough. I'm on the road again. I gotta move it along. Goodbye, my friends. Back on the road again. I gotta leave this town. No sense in wasting my time here. Don't let it bring me down. I gotta leave this town. I haven't listened to enough to know the lyrics full, but that's On the Road. Next one I played was The Sword. And where's my? I thought my cat was over here. usually she's right here. It's overcast day today. It just rained a little bit, just drizzled. So, and it was humid again today. We had 2 days of nice breezy weather, and it's humid again. Oh well. Okay, now here's the title track, Oblivion Express. Yes. I love how it starts off like that and then it gets to a nice slow burning groove. It's real heavy. And then again, picks up the tempo. The tempo changes are nice here. Yeah, fantastic album. Yeah, if you're new to Brian Auger, definitely check this album out. It's the eponymous title, Brian Auger's Oblivion Express. And the next few songs I'm going to play, there's one track called Voices of Other Times. And I saw it on YouTube here, and I don't know what album it's from. But then there's another couple songs from an album called Balfour called Maiden Voyage and Listen Here. And then there's 3 songs I'm going to play from an album called A Better Land. Okay, here's Voices of Other Times. Here it is. Like I said, I don't know what album this is from. Excuse me while I shift. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Getting old sucks. Oh, I love this bass here. I love the bass on this. Hopefully you can hear that. Yeah, that's a really nice one. I thought maybe it was on the album Balfour, but it's not. Nice bass song, nice bass line. Those ethereal vocals make it too. All right. Moving on to Brian Auger and the Trinity. They recorded the Balfour album. And so he had the Oblivion Express and the Trinity. Here's the Trinity. Here is Maiden Voyage. I tend to like these songs a little bit better. The Oblivion Express, of course, that album, as you hear, it's very mind-blowing, but these are a little more, that jazz guitar. A lot more my style. I almost slipped my bell-bottoms on. I have a pair of bell-bottoms that I ordered that this shirt matches perfectly. That I'm going to wear to Key West if a miracle happens and we do get down there, and if it's nice and cool, I'm going to wear the bell-bottoms for sure. I'm a big fashion addict myself. You should see me. Whenever I plan for trips, I'm like, what am I going to wear? I want to wear this. I don't know. And it's like I have to bring my entire wardrobe in a bag so I can pick out what I want. It's ridiculous, I know. I can't just grab things and go. And here I'm a clothes horse, unfortunately. But I think I'm going to have to start selling. I tried selling on eBay, and for some reason I can't do it. It says I owe a fee, and I don't know where to pay for it. It doesn't show you. So eBay ripped me off before, too, so I'm discouraged against that. And I don't want to have yard sales either, because you get these people who try to dicker with you, and they tell you They grab, you tell them the price, they grab all the clothes, and you tell them the amount. Oh, no, you say $1 for that. I said, no, I said $5. No, you said $1. I'm like, no, I did not say $1. I almost threw a couple of these people off my property. And just to get them out, I mean, you do work out a deal, but oh, no, they had like $200 worth of clothes that I had to bring down to $130 after a while, just so I can get them off my property. You know, I made a good chunk of money there, but from now on, I'm not putting up with that. Either they pay or they get out. And so anyway, that is called, sorry, I'm babbling away here. Anyway, this next one is also from the Balfour album called Listen Here. Listen Here. Good drums, good percussion. Another good bass line, the other good bass tunes. And the percussion, that reminds me of the skit on Saturday Night Live, which I don't, of course, haven't watched in ages because it's not funny anymore. It was Will Ferrell and people that looked like it was supposed to be Blue Oyster Cult in the studio in 1976 doing Don't Fear the Reaper. And they started and you see him going, dum, dum, dum. Like, we need more. Oh, yeah. I got to check out the rest of this album as well. I just recorded the ones that really caught my attention, but I'm going to check out too the rest of it. That's what's good about YouTube. I've recorded so many albums. I mean, so many, and they, charge you a fee. I think they haven't really charged me much lately. I think I don't know if it's a year. I mean, I look and they haven't charged me at all, so I don't know. I mean, that's a good thing. Knock on wood. Okay, next few songs are from an album called A Better Land, and this one is called Marai's Wedding. Nice acoustic piece here. A little more. A Better Land is a little more laid back, I think, than I like. But you can't, nothing's perfect for everyone. Some people that praise certain albums that just don't appeal to me, and vice versa. And again, there's some people that think the same as me. I'm along that wavelength there. I definitely feel like I'm in 1970 right now, 1971, sitting here with the reminds me of being up north in 1971 in Michigan. A lot of the days were overcast, as a matter of fact, because it was summer. It was July, I remember, in our 1970 Bonneville station wagon with the 8 tracks. Sounds like they mixed the guitar. They definitely did not do a good mix on this. I'm surprised they didn't catch that. But yeah, that guitar was way too far back. This is nice, really lightweight. Okay, the next one is called On Thinking It Over. Oh, this is nice. And actually, Brian Auger, he and his succession of bands had also shared bills across the world with a wide array of artists ranging from Jimi Hendrix, ZZ Top, and Earth, Wind & Fire, to name a few. And he also shared bill with one of his favorites, Herbie Hancock. And he has now entered his 5th decade with the revamped version of the Oblivion Express that includes his daughter Savannah on vocals and his son named Karma on drums, who also holds down the production and engineering roles. Yeah, this is like a nice introspective. And then the next one is the title track, A Better Land. Very, very pleasant. Oh, and the sun's trying to come out now. Oh, nice. Okay, here's the title track now. A Better Land. This is nice too. This to me reminds me of flying over like an open land. Nice country land, like when I go up to my grandmother's house in Hillman, Michigan. That was 5 hours north of Detroit. When she was alive, she lived back in the woods, back on dirt roads. And Hillman was a small town that wasn't even on the map. Oh man, I mean, total country. It looks like there were general stores there were general stores in the past. And we'd go to shop. It literally took an hour to get into town into a city called Alpena, Michigan. And oh my God, those were the days out in that water. I mean, you could hear a pin drop. It was so nice. And on the other side of the lake was Sorensen's Grass Lake Resort, which is still open. And my grandmother was, of course, good friends with Dorothy Sorensen. Dorothy and Mike were the owners, and they have since passed away. And of course, it's been handed down through generations, and it's still there to this day. Anyway, well, that's fitting because it is called A Better Land, and the lyrics are about wind in your hair, and it reminds me of flying over a nice open land, open plains. Oh, my phone's ringing. It's probably another scammer. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the Brian Auger's Oblivion Express and Brian Auger and the Trinity. And I will see you again tomorrow at the same time, same place. And everybody have a wonderful Thursday. Okay, bye-bye. Oops. Hold on, false alarm. Okay, bye-bye.